place. You see, many have tried, but no one could take your place, girl. Why you so beautiful? I see the future in your face, baby. Never in a million years I thought that you'd be mine, girl. That you'd be mine, girl. Never thought I would fall. No, never. But my heart's been stolen again. But my heart's been stolen. Last forever. We will go. Ooh, baby. We will go, baby. We keep going and growing, girl. The best thing is knowing, girl. Cause when we KISSING, all I can say is OMG. My love in my life, you make all things right, baby. I trust you, girl, with my life. I don't want nobody but you. I'ma put my ring on you. Never thought no, never. Ooh, baby. Again. This time, hope it lasts forever. We'll go beyond. We will go so far. Beyond. You'll always find what you're looking for, and you ain't looking for a thing. We ain't looking for a thing. Yeah, you'll always find what you're looking for, and you ain't looking for a thing. Never thought I. No, never. Ooh, baby. Been stolen again. This time, hope it lasts forever. You hope, baby. I hope it lasts forever, girl. I hope it lasts forever, girl. Hey, 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 hey. We will go, baby. We will go, baby. Ooh, we will go, baby. We will go so far, baby. I hope it lasts forever, baby.
I think I'm gonna really give up this life. Just try to be a better guy, But wait. Man, they got a good girl, and they really feel they go treat you a certain way. I understand. So what's up with you?
Girls. Some things we got kind of resolve.
I think I can just, apologize and start fresh and clear the slate, and hopefully, that will work out for me.
Well, if it makes you happy, give it a try. She deserves it, right?
Hey, give you a call and see how it works out, man.
Let me know how it goes.
For sure. Thanks, man.
No problem.
How you doing? Before you hang up, can you just listen for a while? I was stupid, I'll admit it. Should've never done anything to take away your smile. So I dropped my pride, all my cards are laid. I know I hurt you most definitely, and I'm trying to make it right. I wanna take away your pain. Said you need your space and you're trying to live, but I'm really hoping that you can forgive me. I'm wrong, I wrote this song, it's been too long. Forgive me, baby. Baby, please, this is my apology. I was wrong, I was wrong. Don't you leave, this is my apology. I was wrong, I was wrong. So baby, can I come over and show you how sorry I am? I'll make you my lady tonight. Oh, if you want it, put your request in and I'll be on it. We'll make sweet love all through the night. I didn't know you would pick up the phone, and now I'm wondering if you were alone, girl. If so, just let me know. I wanna plan a rendezvous. Please forgive me, don't turn away. I wanna try again starting today, honey. I'll fight, I'll treat you right. See me tonight, I'll fix this, baby. Baby, please, this is my apology. I was wrong, I was wrong, girl. Don't you leave, this is my apology. I was wrong, I was wrong. Don't you leave, no, no. I was wrong, I apologize. Oh, believe me, I do. I apologize. I was wrong. I'm sorry. Ooh, I'm sorry. I am. I'm sorry. I am. Baby, ooh, I'm sorry. Ooh, I'm sorry. I am. I'm sorry. I am. Baby, please, this is my apology. I was wrong. I was wrong, girl. Don't you leave. My apology. Oh, baby, please. Ooh, I was wrong. I apologize. This is my apology. I do. I apologize. I was wrong.
Hello?
Hey babe, what you doing?
Nothing.
Can you come over?
Yeah, not easy.
Anybody ever told ya what a woman really is? If you ever get the moment, show them how much they give. You're a shoulder I can cry on, arms I can embrace. Is to hear my deepest thoughts, protect her night and day. You are mother, sister, daughter, nieces, aunties, wives. You are amazing, cause you have given life. You are mother, sister, daughter, nieces, aunties, wives. You are all amazing, I try to describe. You are woman, yes you are, yes you are. You are woman, yes you are, yes you are. You are woman, yes you are, yes you are. You are woman, yes you are, yes you are.
You have birthed the nations, a nurturer you are. You bless us with your wisdom, and you tended every scar. You have found me broken, you have shown me light. You ignited all my passions and loved me through the night. You are mother, sister, daughter, nieces, aunties, wives. You are all amazing, cause you have given life. You are mother, sister, daughter, nieces, aunties, wives. You are all amazing. I try to describe, you are woman. Yes, you are, yes, you are, you are woman. Yes, you are, yes, you are, you are woman. Yes, you are, yes, you are, you are woman. Yes, you are, yes, you are.
To be a woman is to be blessed with unparalleled intuition, to be powerful, power independent of place or position. To be a woman is to be a mother, giving birth to sons and daughters, ideas, institutions, and business ventures. To be a woman is to be the current inspiration, the future aspiration of a young lady, of a little girl.
You're a masterpiece of harmony, a melody of light. You're a gem, a diamond flower in spring, you're one of a kind. You're a masterpiece of harmony, a melody of life. You're an African queen flower in spring, you're one of a kind. You are mother, sister, daughter, nieces, aunties, wives. So you are amazing. I try to describe, you are woman. Yes, you are, yes, you are, you are woman. Yes, you are, yes, you are, you are woman. Yes, you are, yes, you are, you are woman. You are woman. You are woman. You are. Yes, you are, yes, you are. You are woman. You are woman. And when obstacles manifest as natural, you are born for this.
To be a woman is to be the heart of the system, to be the one who brings life into our world.
Warning. What you are about to hear goes against traditional romantic counsel expressed by friends, family, and Instagram memes and quotes. Open-mindedness is advised.
Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody. And welcome to another edition of The Senate. I'm your host, Neil Hoyt. He's your host, Derek Marshall. And together, we are your senators for the evening. No, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Derek is obviously ready to go. So, my brother, how is everything going? How
Yes,
you
sir.
how you doing? How you keeping? What's the story?
Man, I'm well, I'm good. Oh, everything is good in the hood. Well, I just saw that we had 318 cases today.
Insanity.
So I was saying that the COVID battle like Joe Root, but he up the thing now to Don Bradman. So that's the numbers we push it. But outside of that, man, I can't complain. I'm pretty all right. I'm pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, man? Talk to me. What's going on in your world?
I'm good, man. You know how it is. Life is living, and just handling my business, taking care of my little corner of the universe, and just thankful, just grateful, just keeping it pushing, keeping it moving. We had some music from G-Syndicate,
You're breaking up, my
Barbados's,
brother.
and to my mind, the Western world, the premier. There, you still there? Oh, I broke
Yeah,
up there.
man.
Let me see what's happening.
Yeah, you're breaking up.
Let me just make sure the stream is going well. Right. I was telling you. I was telling every. Right. I still breaking up. 1, 2, 1, 3.
Really, we all right now?
You still got me, or are you still there?
It still got you. Still here.
Yeah, I can't hear you at all. Let me see. We good now? All right, good. Right. So I was telling you, just tell everybody about G-Syndicate. To me, the best acapella group in the Western Hemisphere. Just let everybody know what's happening, what's going on, and everything like that.
Yeah, man. G-Syndicate. You can find us at gsyndicate6.com. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, G-Syndicate6. Everything you need to know. We had a socially distanced rehearsal last night. First time for a little while. Mask and all. So that was interesting. That was a new experience. But yeah, we made it work, and still trying to get stuff done and get the projects out so that there's some semblance of normalcy even within these times in which we live, So yeah, man, that's what we're trying to do. Jimmy is saying look at the food popped into his brain for some reason. That's probably the sight of my scarf.
Okay, fair enough.
That might be it. Yeah, we still there?
See Antisocial, see Romel Hall all the way from the other side of the planet. Jennifer, stay safe, love on the yes.
Yeah, boy, it rough in these streets.
You hear me?
Things. Yeah, man, I hear you loud and clear.
Again,
are you hearing me?
Again, a huge delay. So what you can do is, hold on a second. I hear you, but there's a very huge delay on my end, but it doesn't seem to be affecting the stream, so we continue.
Right. Yeah, man, I see Nicholas in the house.
All right. So, my brother. Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. Yeah, Nicholas in the house. Yep. But no, first things first, Derek. Well, not Derek, sorry. People, ladies and gentlemen, just let you know, for those of you that don't know, if you like the content that we are pushing out or anything like that, you can like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell, give us some love, tell us how you feel about things, shout out Dion. People have been liking our Senate shorts. If you're liking our Senate shorts, go through, enjoy yourself, love life. But Avery Brathwaite, boy, that is a man I have not seen or heard of in a very long time. Anyhow, hold on a minute, Derek. I can try to. Let me see here what's going on. Yeah, you still there?
Yeah, man, still here.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So what I will do is right. So let's get into it. So everybody knows that before every episode, what we do, every Tuesdays and Thursdays, we usually come up with a topic for us to talk about. Derek posts it on social media so that we can get some engagement, get the conversation going, and everything like that. This week is no different. Derek, we are tackling the F word, my brother. So pose the question, let everybody know what we're talking about tonight, and set it up for us.
Fourth wave feminism, failing modern women and society at large. And that is the question we want to address tonight. As a matter of fact, this entire week, tonight and on Thursday, we're going to talk about this. We call it the F word for, YouTube purposes. So from here on out, we might refer to it as womanism or the F word, because, if we say it too often, it might be labeled as some kind of hate speech and then ding the platform. So we don't want that to happen. So we're going to have, we're going to use the term womanism, right? So we got a whole set of stuff, Neil. We did some research on this. And what we're going to do, we're going to run some of that stuff so you guys can see exactly what's going on. And yeah, Neil, let me just spin some clips, because we got a lot to think.
Mm-hmm.
So let me run some clips, man.
Or let me start with some of the. Yeah, we got.
It seems getting there.
We got a lot to get into. Let me start with the static stuff. Let's start off with you getting delay now. All right, so this is what we can do, right? I can put down, call you back, and let me see if that helps with the connection. So I can call you right back. You still there?
Still here.
Yeah, just give me some levels. ABC 1, 2, 3, anything.
Yeah, check.
Yeah, we good to go. We good to go. All right, so let's get into it. We can start off. You want to start off with some graphics, or you want to go straight into some video? How are you feeling?
Let me do with some graphics. Let me do with some graphics.
We do with some graphics.
It's kind of easier to roll those.
Mm-hmm. Well, here we go. You have feminism is failure on the screen.
Yeah. Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
That's a biggie up front, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Feminism is failure. And this person, whomever it is that did this particular graphic, they've managed to outline the reasons why, based in facts and statistics, which is always good, so that people don't think we're dealing in conjecture. It says 72% of inmates in state prison were raised by single mothers. 70% of divorces are. A matter of fact, let me go back to the prison angle, because remember when we had Romello a couple months ago, he mentioned that while he was working as a prison officer, he had the occasion to interact with prisoners, and he noticed that a lot of them were raised by single mothers. So we're going to go on. 70% of divorces are initiated by women. We tell you that almost every week. 60 million plus terminations since 1973. And these are obviously in the US. 45% of women aged 25 to 44 work full-time. I won't read the because that might be a little inflammatory if I read the what do you call the small caption, the fine print underneath. 66% of women carry credit card debt. The birth rate is lowest in 32 years, and this is 2018. 85% of those living paycheck to paycheck are women, despite being responsible for 73% of consumer spending in the US. Women owe 67% of the student loan debt, and obviously because they're the ones going to college. We talked about that only last week, where the men are not going to college. More women receive welfare, alimony, and child support than men. It's only now that we see more and more cases of men actually going and getting child support. We did a short on that that was fairly hilarious only a couple of weeks ago, where a man got to court a teacher, brethren. he was getting $2,500 a month in child support, and the mother of the children was not particularly impressed with that, but it is what it is. And more we're seeing that now. 77% of black children are born to unwed mothers. 27%, and that is probably even higher now because men are kind of walking away from the whole long-term relationships and marriage and walking away from that. So that figure might be even higher now. 27% of US women are obese. 52% of American women are single. 60+% divorce rate in the US. And a quarter of women take mental health meds. So that is one graphic we have. And I think that's a fairly interesting place from which to launch off into tonight's discussion. So before we roll any more graphics, Neil, I think we need to kind of go into feminism and what it really is and all that stuff. So let's take a deep dive, to borrow from Dr. BOA. Let's take a deep dive into the whole discussion. So feminism is is defined as a range of social movements, political movements, and ideologies that aim to define and establish the political, economic, personal, and social equality of the sexes. Right? Political, economic, personal, and social equality of the sexes. At this point, I think we are all on the same page. And I think most right-thinking people have absolutely no arguments with that. Right? Womanism incorporates the position that societies prioritize the male point of view and that women are treated unjustly within those societies. And I think we hear that a lot, right? To this day, we hear that a lot. Efforts to change that include fighting against gender stereotypes and establishing educational, professional, and interpersonal opportunities and outcomes for women that are equal to those for men. Womenist movements have campaigned and continue to campaign for women's rights, including the right to vote, hold public office, work, earn equal pay, own property, receive education, enter contracts, have equal rights within marriage and maternity leave. Right? So far, I think we can all agree, that nobody got no problems with this. Right? I think we
could all agree on that.
We can all agree, we about equality. We about the equality thing. We have no problem with it.
Right.
Womanists have also worked to ensure access to legal early terminations and social integration, and to protect women and girls from EPAR spelled backward, harassment of the man-woman kind, and domestic violence. Changes in female dress standards and acceptable physical activities for females have often been part of the womanist movements. So no, that's womanism. Yeah, feminism, we have no problem with it. Yeah, equality for all. Be done with that. Yeah, I'm sure everybody could agree. If you agree, put some ones in the chat. Right? No. We move forward now into what they call fourth wave feminism, fourth wave womanism. And it is a movement that began around 2012 and is characterized by a focus on the empowerment of women, the use of internet tools, and intersectionality. The fourth wave seeks greater gender equality by focusing on gendered norms and marginalization of women in society. Fourth wave argues for equal pay for equal work, and that the equal opportunity sought for girls and women should extend also to boys and men to overcome gender norms. For example, by expressing emotions and feelings freely, expressing themselves physically as they wish, and to be engaged parents to their children. Again, I think we all on the same page. We all agree, or can agree. So everything we've heard so far, right? The utilization of print, news, and social media platforms to collaborate, mobilize, speak against abusers of power in seeking for the empowerment of women and seeking justice against assault harassment is prominent. And at this point is where we start to get off the track a little bit, right? Now, I was reading from, or quoting almost, some Wikipedia, but now I can kind of launch into my own thing, right? So, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen of the cabinet here tonight, these are strange and perilous times for men, right? We have kind of come to an almost Alice in Wonderland kind of situation where everything's topsy-turvy, upside down. And by upside down, I don't want you to misinterpret that to believe that I am advocating for a return to normalcy of sorts, where everything is
return to patriarchy. Return to the patriarchy.
Yeah,
don't dipsy do
patriarchal. No, I don't dipsy doodle. Everything is patriarchal, and there is male dominance, if for want of a better term, in society. That's not what we're advocating for. That's not what I'm suggesting at all. However, we have come to the point where we've gone, as the old people would say, too far east, and now we've ended up west.
Too far left is right.
So, Neil, we have, and this, oddly enough, because the article says that fourth wave started around 2012, but I want us to look at a video. We're going to show a video before I progress any further. Watch a video.
Which video is this?
I really want you to
you just highlighted it. Okay.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, got it.
And give it a watch. And I really want you to listen to what the last person on it says, because this video is from 1976, right? 1976. Really interesting that the more things change, the more they remain the same. So from 1976, give it a watch and hear what this lady, well, these particular ladies have to say. Don't come for us. Watch the video, we can talk about it, right? Hold on to your garments.
What does International Women's Year mean to you?
I don't know, it doesn't worry me.
Shut up, my guy Mark in the chat.
Don't have any effect, I don't sort of think about it. Do you?
I don't take interest in women's lib. It doesn't worry me at all. I don't like it.
Why don't you like it?
I'd rather be the way I am. I like to be out of my husband's thumb.
I reckon the man should wear the pants, He should sort of be the boss in the family, Sort of. Well, I'd rather him go out to work and earn the money than me go out and earn the money and look after the kids, But, I sort of just don't believe in it.
What does International Women's Year mean to you?
Nothing.
Nothing at all?
Nothing.
Has women's liberation affected your life at all?
No. I don't believe in it.
Why not?
I don't know. I've got no opinions on it.
Have you resisted it?
No.
Have you ever read anything about women's liberation?
No.
What does International Women's Year mean to you?
I'm afraid not very much, really. I'm a bit old to be worried,
Do you ever think about women's liberation?
I don't, to tell you the honest truth, no.
What do you think of those women like Germaine Greer who want to change?
If they want to do their own thing, let them do it. That's what I say.
You don't feel a need for a change in your way of life at all?
No, quite happy.
Do you think women's liberation is a bad thing?
Oh, I don't know. I don't understand it much. I'm inclined to think they can overdo all these things, really, don't you?
In what areas? What about equal job opportunity and equal pay and that sort of issue?
Yes. No, I don't quite go with it. I'm afraid I'm old-fashioned, really. I think the man is the important one with the jobs and the pay and that sort of thing, don't you? Really?
I think possibly I'm like a lot of women and depend a lot on a husband, on the male race, I guess.
And I consider a liberated woman is a woman who does what she wants to do, thinks for herself, lives as she wishes, and is not dominated by male thinking. Also, particularly, of course, a woman in industry earning as much as a man.
But do you think women's liberation is a good thing?
I'm very sceptical about some of the extremes it's carried to. I think women are in great danger of being dominated by women, being told to liberate themselves by doing what other women want them to do. That to me is a great danger in the whole scheme.
Will you be doing anything to participate in International Women's Year?
Not particularly, because I think that in a way there's too much made of it, that it should be just accepted as it is. Women are becoming far too dominant, so that they're going to end up being women chauvinists.
Oh, but Derek, that was from the 70s. Oh, but Derek, those are white women from down under in Australia. Derek.
I know we would hear all of that, and I anticipate that. But here's the thing. Here's the challenge with it. That's 1976. That is, as you said, those are all Caucasian women.
From the mountains of Caucasus.
London, England, wherever it is they're from. And the interesting thing is, those women expressed that they didn't want to be, one girl even said she didn't want to be, that the men were the important one, and she wanted to be another one said she wanted to be under her husband's thumb. She enjoyed being under her husband's thumb. Now, our women of today are working for themselves and such, and do not want to be under anybody's thumb, as they shouldn't be. Again, we move forward. It's a case where we know we're talking equal rights, equal opportunities, equal outcomes, right? Yeah, equal outcomes. I'll leave it at that. But the challenge is, so many of them still want to be provided for, as if they were still from 1970, as if the situation was not a case where they can now provide for themselves. And that is a challenge that men have, right? You see Ramel Hall, Ramel saying he's been the devil's advocate. Bear in mind that full-time women's living would have been in its infancy, and many of these women have bought something.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah,
we understand that. We take all that into
yep.
account. And we understand all that. But the challenge that modern men have is that we are meeting modern women who still have some let me not say have. Modern women who want to be treated as if it is still 1970, 1960. So they want to be provided for, as if, right? I would even go as far as to say point blank they will not be able to respect men who cannot provide for, right? So that's part of the challenge with the movement. But we can get into it a little bit more, Neil. Because what's even more dangerous now is that women understand that they can win in the court, not only in the court of public opinion, but in the court of law. Right? So we have moved to, again, Alex and along the line, sentencing comes before you even reach a verdict. And usually the cries are akin to off with his head, right? We famously, Neil, we infamously, I would say, and notoriously had one of our viewers, a male viewer, state only a few months ago, during one of our live shows, that all men are dangerous. It kind of reminded me of Julius Caesar when we were at school. And if you remember, they were talking about the conspirators. Somebody said, John Cassius has a lean and hungry look. Such men are dangerous. It kind of brought that to mind, right? But a male viewer said that all men are dangerous. Apparently not realizing that he, as a male, falls into the category of all men. Ipso facto, he too is considered dangerous. I know we have gone a step further to presume that all men are not only dangerous, but no guilty. That is real. This is going to be a serious show. That is the real crux of the matter. Right? Fourth wave womanism has led to the disruption of due process and the destruction of the concept of innocent until proven guilty. These are the days, right, that as soon as we hear an accusation leveled against a man, we immediately believe he is guilty. Now, again, this would be acceptable if everything was equal, if it was truly an equality-based system. We'd be cool with that. However, men have been the ones who have suffered because of this disruption of due process and innocent until proven guilty, right? And if you doubt me, let me check popular culture. Very recently, the piper of R&B, R. Kelly, was accused and convicted of numerous charges, right? These involved or included amongst the charges would have been, I think, child pornography or something like that. And we all know that R had his proclivities in terms of, sexual preferences and stuff like that, in terms of minors. And what he would have done, what he was accused of, is reprehensible. We can't deny that. We can't get around that. We can't Dixie doodle around that. Reprehensible. And as such, he suffered the consequences of. Right? There was even a series, Neil, called Surviving R. Kelly.
Yep.
And that series was aired before his trial. So it means that the possibility of R. Kelly getting a really fair trial at that point is slim to none, because shoot, this thing aired by Lifetime or wherever it was. And you seeing the victims coming out. Sorry, let me not use the victims in
because they're victims now.
You see, they're victims. Agreed. So let me retract that before anybody come for me. But we are seeing people on air saying, well, yeah, this man did X, Y, Z. He does not have the opportunity, or did not have the opportunity, to refute anything that was said in the documentary, right? No, nothing wrong with that. Again, what R. Kelly would have done is reprehensible. So if those of you who are watching under the sound of my voice and you're taking up umbrage with what I'm saying, as if it comes over as a defense of R. Kelly and his actions, please click this part where I say his actions are reprehensible and he has suffered the consequences of those actions. He was tried and found wanting, and he's now facing sentencing. Let us make sure we got that part out of the way. Good. Yet, our good friend of the Senate Show podcast, which you're watching here on YouTube right now, like, share, comment, and subscribe. Our good friend of the podcast, Mrs. Smith, Pinkett Smith, let me give her a name. She has been accused of similar indiscretions recently, and not a word of jail time yet. Hold tight, because you can tell me, well, I ain't really sure, and it was kind of thing. But poor R. Kelly, he did not have the benefit of the doubt. And I know people can go back and say, but he married to Aaliyah when she was 15. Good. So let me go forward, because I know you're going to hold on to that. So let us go forward, right? Even my girl, Mary J. Blige, has been accused of having relations with an underage Danny Boy, is his name, when he was 15 or 16 years old. And again, no word of jail time yet, right? Now, again, some people can say to me that he was 16 and 16 is legal and all that stuff. However, in the state of California, where the incident allegedly occurred, the age of consent is actually 18. So, right? So,
I would say this, Derek.
Go ahead, my brother.
The reason why a lot of people then not necessarily agree with this is because R. Kelly, he documented all of this thing that he did, and a lot of people, including his security and a lot of people on his staff, knew exactly what he was doing and was complicit. Well, no, again, if they was complicit or not, but they knew about it. So,
right. Having said that, let me, I agree with that wholeheartedly. Not denying that, right? But in the case here now with Jada, in the case with Mary J. Blige, in the case of Cardi B, because we're talking about documenting.
Oh dear.
Yeah. Bill Cosby, America's dad, they used to call him. He went to prison, spent some time. Some people say he didn't get enough. He spent some time because some lady said that he had some relations with them some time ago. I think it was over 40 years ago. And he had to spend some time. He denies it. He maintains his innocence and all that.
Yeah.
Bill went to prison. I want you. Oh, apparently he drugged some women, had sex with them and stuff like that, right? Bill maintains his innocence. Then we have Cardi B, whom some women look at and view as a role model, a mentor, all kinds of stuff. You know what? I could show you better than I could tell you. Neil, let me run down Cardi there so hear what Cardi has to say.
All right.
Cheat on me, I'm be that guy. I'm gonna take him out. We're gonna get drunk. I'm gonna get him all perked up and everything. We're gonna have a good time. Get him super twisted. Then bring a bitch around. We're gonna have a threesome. And when he wake up, he gonna be like, what the fuck? Yeah, because the bitch was a tranny. I'm be like, yup, we had a threesome with a tranny.
Fucking strip club. I did, my nigga. I built my followers up. And I'm building my own fucking music career. Nobody's fucking helping me. So a bitch to motherfucking saying that I don't deserve to be a fucking artist because shit was handed to me and I haven't put in no work, you're fucking bugging. Because I'm 24 years old and I look washed up because I spent hours in the motherfucking studio. Hours. I paid over $50,000 in studio time because you gotta pay good engineers, you gotta go to a good studio, and you gotta put in that bread. I did it with my money. So for a bitch to say that I don't motherfucking deserve it because I don't put in no fucking work, now that's when I feel like niggas is bugging. Cause I did it myself. Niggas must have forgot, my nigga, the shit that I did to motherfucking survive. Like, I had to go strip. I had to go, oh yeah, you wanna fuck me? Yeah, let's go to this hotel. And I drug niggas up and I robbed them. That's what I used to do. Nothing was motherfucking handed to me, my nigga. Nothing. So for a bitch to motherfucking say that I don't deserve shit, that's when I know that they fucking bugging. Cause they do not fucking know the shit that I had to do so niggas could take me out. Cause nobody wanted to help me. Nobody wanted to fucking help me, my nigga. Nobody
She crying?
wanted to
She crying?
put me on Love and Hip Hop. Niggas wanted me to be stuck in the strip club. And then when I got on Love and Hip Hop, nobody wanted me to fucking think.
All right, Nate, you can pull that. Thank you so much. Right?
She was crying?
Yeah, she was in tears and stuff like that. And what I found fascinating about that particular video is she admits to drugging and robbing people and drugging men and robbing them. She admits to drugging men and making them have sex with tranny, as she called it. I can't keep up with who's trans woman, who's trans man.
To me,
I really can't.
It's all deception. So to me, it doesn't matter. In terms, it is all deception on what she is alleged she did, what she's saying she did. Because you all know you all the split and thing.
Right. So I can't keep up with who's who, which direction it's going. But she admits to this stuff, and again, no jail time. Not a word of jail time. As a matter of fact, Neil, there's a movie called Hustlers.
Hustlers.
And that movie stars Jennifer Lopez. I think Kiki Wyatt is in it as well. Lizzo is in it. Cardi B makes a guest appearance.
Yep.
This movie is about strippers who at the during the recession would drug in their clients and rob them. So what we have is a situation where Cardi B's life story becomes a movie, and she is brought on as a consultant. You could only call it that. In real time. She's faced no consequences for it.
She's made money off of it.
She's made money off of it. And she admits to crimes. So we have a situation where,
again, it's where you could prove, Derek. It's where you could prove. That's how but that's what the court system says.
This is from the horse's mouth.
But what's the proof? How do you build a case against somebody? You see, I've realized.
But what I want you to do, Neil, I want you to hold on, Neil, hold on.
Just
we
say
have
though.
Cardi B saying from her own mouth, I drugged men and robbed them.
Who man?
We have
What's the
some
proof?
women coming forward and saying, hey, Bill Cosby drugged me.
But they were actually witnesses. They were actually victims. There were people that had.
Good. I love the terminology you used. So Neil, I would have sent you some stuff. This is Margaret Coonan, I think her name is. Those last two videos I would have sent you. You can run the three of those. Let's have a watch of those, because I think it's important that words have power. And it is critical.
Yes.
We need to be very conscious of the fact of what we say, how we bring it over, right?
Right. So
because what we say can be very impactful, right?
So
Jimmy's making the point that we got dislike already. That's fine. We don't always agree, and you can say you are free to dislike if you want.
But you see, I just want to make it clear, right? I want to make something very clear. Cardi B saying that she did it, but now having to build a case around it. So you now have to find victims, you now have to find witnesses, you now have to find evidence, right? Is a far different cry than Bill Cosby allegedly doing something. There have witnesses and victims coming across and everything like that. I'm not saying Cardi B is innocent. I'm not saying Bill Cosby is guilty. All I'm saying is that that's how America works. You could say, oh, I did X, Y, Z, ABC, right? Because
it's not just America, Neil.
Oh, I know.
Not just America.
I know.
And you're gonna find out in the next 3 clips that you're gonna play.
All right,
just America.
All right, hold on. Let me cue it up and let me get going. So on screen.
Fuller, police commissioner, said the police are committed to supporting victims. As police, our primary role is to support victims who courageously come forward to police to report sexual assault. This is where we go off the track. There was even, before things used to hit the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, police had a filtering process too. They are no longer permitted to do that. I know that they are instructed by the Commissioner now to refer in fact sheets before there is any conviction of any person to any complainant in sexual assault as victims. And of course to treat them accordingly. They have very little discretion or none in proceeding to charge. And yet, with ownership of the case, the police then want the case to succeed. But once the complainant has been declared a victim or regarded as a victim, there's not much more investigation that goes on. There's just a zeal to get to the end and to convict the charged person.
All right, let me load up the other video now, the second video. Second video here is a quick one.
Attorney General, Mr. Speakman, acknowledged the growing calls across the community for reforms to respond more effectively to the scourge of sexual violence in this country.
Let me load up the last one.
The criminal trial is, as I say, about the person who is charged. It's not meant to be it's not a social work forum or a psychology convention. It's not there to provide the complainant with some kind of solace or affirmation or tremendous triumph. It's not about the complainant. There may be other things about the complainant, but as one has to say to juries now as a defence counsel, it is very nice and a lovely kind thing to believe your child or your neighbour or your friend if he or she says that they've been sexually assaulted. That's a very good thing, believe them. But a jury has to act judicially. And a jury can't be, and it doesn't work if police get into courts and start talking about victims. The victim did this and the victim did that.
All right. Well, it's finished for me, Derek. Yeah, I know there's a delay and everything like that. Ladies and gentlemen, as Derek finishes up, you're watching the Senate podcast. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Dislike if you don't agree. Well, we got our first dislike, but yeah, let me get the community going. We will have the facility for calling at some point during this broadcast, so just bear with us. We can send you the Skype link, and just give me your name. We would prefer you to be on camera, and yeah, let's get it going. Anyhow, Derek, summarize that video of what we just saw there.
Yeah. What we were seeing, she's a magistrate, and she was saying essentially that from the time the charges are level, the accusations are level. From the time the accusations are level, the police are now trained to believe. That's the first thing. I start by believing. That's an excerpt from a longer piece of content. And they didn't want to feel it, but not all that. They are trained to essentially start saying, I believe. So it's a case of the facts are irrelevant. The burden of proof is now on the defense attorney, right, to get his client off, right? And you notice I'm saying his client, but we know how that would go. The burden of we assume automatically that as long as the charges come or the accusation comes, that person is guilty, and that is a dangerous precedent that's been set because of Me Too and all the other different movements that we have. Yes, Jimmy, evidence and facts are irrelevant because the person is a victim. Right? The person is a victim as soon as, for example, right here in Barbados, if the police are called to a domestic dispute, they will come to the home, and depending on the severity of it, the man will be asked to leave.
Almost exclusively.
Irrespective of if he is the
almost exclusive
victim or not. Almost exclusively. The man will be asked to leave. Whether he was the person who suffered the assault or not, he will be the person to leave. As a matter of fact, if some police would turn and ask, why you hit the woman?
You late hitting me. You late hitting me.
Yeah. So because of this, the movements and forthwith, we've now come to a case where, again, we destroy due process. So facts and evidence have gone through the editors, and the concept of innocent until proven guilty has now become guilty until proven innocence. So you have to go in and, beyond a shadow of a doubt, be able to prove that you are not guilty of the things of which you've been accused. For example, Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp went to court accused of manhandling his wife, girlfriend, Amber Heard, whoever she is. So I can't remember if she's wife or girlfriend. He went to court accused of that domestic abuse, violence, whatever you want to call it. In the court, during the trial, it came to light that he was actually the person who was the victim of said abuse and violence. Right? Amber Heard has done 0 time. There was actually even a movement because she is part of I think it's the DC universe. I ain't too big on the DC and Marvel, which is which.
DC, yeah.
I think she's a character. Sorry, Aquaman, right? So she's a character in there, and there was actually a movement. People wanted to boycott the movies because of her, I think it was. And but I think she still retained the job. Oddly enough, or conversely enough, Johnny Depp, who was innocent and actually suffered at her hands, has been blackballed. Can't get a job. Has made Pirates of the Caribbean oodles of money. Can't get a job. From the same Pirates of the Caribbean, by the way. Can't get a job. Right? Because of the stigma which is now attached to him. Where say, yeah, you ain't back at Amber Heard. So we have come to the point where, correct. Yeah, we need to get a lawyer. I think so. We need to get a lawyer on one of these podcasts for it. If any of you want to volunteer somewhere, we'd be great. Rian says, yep, that's why you don't believe in this Me Too movement. They have women as a victim no matter what you do. They can cancel you immediately, even if there are no facts. And that is where we are tonight. I know that this is a difficult conversation. As somebody says, you even got your first dislike tonight. But that's fine. But I'm here for it.
But you know, I do have some thought.
Let's go even further.
Right.
Go ahead, my brother.
No, it's just I do have something that I want to put in. I want to interject here, right? Because like you, I would have done some research leading up to this point, and I know for some people, particularly women, they're gonna say that who are we to speak on feminism because we are speaking from a space of a man. We are speaking from a place of the part of the system, the patriarchy that is oppressing women. Now, I want to say this, right? Feminism has its place. Feminism is not a bad thing. Feminism is a great thing. It is for the equality of women in the society, equal opportunity and equal outcome to a point, right? And the reason why I say equal outcome to a point is because you are not entitled to, like, if a man and a woman line up next to one another and do a job, equal time, equal effort, equal everything, you are entitled to the same outcome. If a man does more work and a woman does less work, she is not entitled to the same outcome as the man because she is a woman. That makes sense? Yeah?
I get you totally, because I was going to say, I remember I did a little pause when I said equal opportunity.
Right, I know why. Yeah.
And I paused on it because I wanted it to be clear. The equal opportunity, the equal outcome is not something to which you are entitled.
Yeah.
The equal outcome comes as a result of you putting in equal work.
Exactly.
Equal effort.
Exactly. Right? Yes,
right?
completely
And
agree.
That is where men have grave challenges. Are you still here?
Okay.
That's where men have grave challenges because they feel as if the playing field is not nearly level, and they're having to kind of fight against certain things. But go ahead. Then
Right.
cut you off.
No problem. That's fine. Right. So the problem is, not the problem. There's no issue with equality of the sexes, right? In terms of how things happen in society. What I think has happened, we have come to a space, and Derek has alluded to it by giving the examples of the law system, court system, everything like that, is that now we are in a space where women have fought tooth and nail to get the opportunities that they want. Women are speaking out more about various atrocities that are happening to them. And there are some women that are using things that happen to them that as reason to kind of slip it under that guise of feminism. For example, we all know that women are the most liberated, the most paid, the most, they're the most free women that they've ever been in the entire history of the world, right? And, for good reason. I think that when you look at the fact that as much as this is a male-dominated society, as the patriarchy people like to say, and I completely disagree with that, I still think that we have to be careful how far left is right, as Derek mentioned earlier, because it is easy to blast someone because they don't agree with your point of view and get on your bullhorn and get in your space and holler as loud as you can and say, look at the misogyny, look at the oppression to feminism, right? We have been called those things here in this space, and it kind of, we got to the point now where it makes us chuckle because that is to us ridiculous. Men have issues too. This is not a, and when I say men have issues too, I'm not speaking for the space of, women got issues so men got issues too. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that the patriarchal system that you all believe, that you all see, and the things that are keeping you all women down in the society, right? You gotta look at it, you can't look at it as black and white, which is funny because that leads into my next point, because there are things, as much as there's gender, there's always race. There's also race, right? In my research today, one of the biggest things feminists, well, pseudo-feminists, I would like to say, come with the pay gap and how men are paid more than women, etc., 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 particularly in sports and this and that and the next. Come to find out, it is some research today, and they said, y'all could Google this, when you look at the pay around the world, women are paid pretty much the same as men. Women, especially particularly in some areas, especially part-time and stuff like that, are paid more than men. But the problem, because everybody has the equality of opportunity to go and work as carpenters, as masons, in construction, in any field they wish, to work in, they have the opportunity to go and work in it. Because if they're not allowed, you can get and say, this is discrimination because this is a male-dominated field and I could get in there. So you get in there, and you can earn as much as a man. But women are only fighting for the white-collar jobs. Now, when you as a woman are fighting for white-collar jobs, you are not only just fighting against men. I know it look like that. It's one woman, they got 5 candidates for this white-collar job. You're against a man that is completely qualified. You're a man that is not qualified. A black man, a white man, a man that uncle does work in the does work on the board, and then you. So it is not as cut and dry as men and women.
And the other women that are played as well.
Thank you very much, Derek. So I think we have to be very, 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 very careful with how we go about crying down certain aspects of this patriarchal society and how we go about crying misogyny and looking to cancel and looking to disparage and looking to shoot. We started this space, and quite literally in the first episode or the second episode, a woman engaged us on Facebook in the comment section of one of Derek's posts and quite literally said, no, she's not joining our podcast because she likes her blood pressure and she know that she don't want to listen to nothing so when the night come. So no, she already branded us as two men that bitter. I've been called bitter and old, since being in this space. And, at the end of the day, I think that feminism is needed, but we have to be careful, and I think Derek was alluding to this, we have to be careful how quickly we label something a feminist movement. I think it's very, very challenging to have a common goal and a discourse where we're empowering women, we're empowering men, we're giving opportunities to men and women, and we're looking for, commensurate and equal outcomes depending on the work put in, versus, oh, I didn't get this job, so it got to be discrimination because I'm a woman. Or, this man look at me a particular way, so we gotta be. I feel it is like we don't get the. I feel as though right now in our society, it is if you're a woman and you don't get the desired outcome you want, it is easy for you to cry foul and have the attention on the oppressor, lack of a better term, to say that that man or that company or that male-dominated space has disregarded and dismissed me. Sound the gong, let's have the rallying cry, right? And that gets us nowhere, because there are people in this world, there are women in this world that have legit, I talk about even in the Western world, legit oppression. There are some women that are treated like slaves. There are some women out there that are being, beaten. They're being raped. Like, it is, you're taken away from, I don't know if it's making sense, but you're taken away from the issues, the real issues out there, right?
Somebody alluded to that in the comment section. So you're on the right track.
Yeah. So, for example, I remember a few years ago, we touched on this in a previous episode where I think it was Mikey Mercer. He would have made a comment about opening the door. It was him or it was Ed?
Right, yeah.
Right. He made the comment about opening the door for a woman, and the woman said, well, he said, could they say thank you or whatever. And he was labeled a misogynist and this backward thinking, the patriarchy and this and that next. We talking about opening a door, though. And we talking about general manners. You know what I mean? If somebody open a door for me, I say thank you. But it's a man or a woman. So if somebody open a door for you, the common thing is to say thank you. That's how you was raised, brought up, see.
But I recently stopped holding doors for women. Recently I've stopped that. No. Only this morning I held the door for a woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I had to kind of do a little bit of reprogramming. But why did I help her? Because she had bags in both hands. So I helped her, right? But I've kind of taken the approach, and it's because of my programming, it requires a lot of effort for me to say I am not opening a door for women. I'm not doing it.
Mm-hmm.
All right?
Mm-hmm.
It's an equal society, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult, but I've decided, you know what? I'm not doing it. If you want to help carry your bags, I ain't doing it.
Nah, I would still help, right? But what I would say is I would have made mention in this space before. There was a time where I was standing up in a line, and a young lady was in front of me. She was listening to some headphones or whatever, and she had a bunch of stuff in her hand, and she dropped something. And I tapped her on her shoulder, and she was kind of pulling away from me and moving away from me as she saw me approaching, right? And I know people can say it because I handed her the thing, and then she was like, thank you.
Men are dangerous, Neil. Men are dangerous.
But I know people out there, particularly women, can say, oh, you don't know what it's like because of the harassment that we have every day, the catcalling and everything like that. I ain't saying no. And I understand that sometimes, or most times, women gotta walk around with that armor to protect themselves and to have a peace of mind as they traverse the nation. Right? But I still feel that you have to be cognizant of, you can't just paint everything by one brush, because when you do that, there's been so many subsections of society where they've been painted negatively by the same brush, and that group has paid for it. Whether it be where you live, where you're from, a country you're from, your sexuality, whatever it is, people paint you with this brush. Shoot, there was a point in time they were saying black people. You paint black people with this brush, no, every black person is a threat. You understand? That is a problem. Every man is not a threat. Every man don't want to get your number and jump in your drawers. I understand you go about and walk about the day, and a good portion of men along your route do that. But I can assure you, especially today, we live in an era where they are being held accountable. I have had to pull up young men that I have been around that were catcalling with me. I remember a time I was in my car, I had a young man in my car, and we stopped, and man was like catcalling this woman. I said, hey, let me tell you something, see? Never ever catcall a woman, because what you hoping to gain? What you hoping to happen? Man say, yeah, just letting she know she look good. You don't think she know that? And even if she know that, she need your validation to tell you that? So really and truly, you're doing it to get her attention so she could use some play. You think that telling the woman you look good can make the woman say, oh my God, I have found my soulmate. Here is my number, and woo me at your convenience. No, it's not. That don't work. So I had to bat at him. And there are other times where I bat at people for doing things like that. So we in this society, and I'm talking about men holding other men accountable. This society today holds men accountable at every level. Can it be more? Sure. But at every level, they're held accountable. Holding a woman accountable is akin to saying you're anti-feminist. Yep. When you hold a woman accountable in today's age, misogynist, all of a sudden, you misogynist because they're speaking out about something that a woman has done. Right? So it's like in this society, and the thing is, we were told earlier in this space, I don't know if you remember, Derek, they were saying, only women can talk about women. Men ain't got the right to speak on women. Okay, we don't have the right to speak on women. We don't see any women holding other women accountable. We don't see it. Y'all don't do it behind closed doors. Y'all ain't doing it publicly. We don't see it. We are not seeing it. So you know what? If one ain't talking about it, talking and holding women accountable, and we ain't to hold women accountable, who? So this is now a force is left unchecked. Tell me what it sounds like when you have a force is left unchecked that has autonomy to do whatever they feel like doing.
Chaos, anarchy.
It doesn't make sense. So you know what? I have come to the conclusion that, and I point it out wherever, anytime I see it, please make mention to it, right? If you're a feminist, like a true feminist, and you're seeing things within your society that need to be called out, or things that need to be addressed so that there's equality and parity, no problem. We are here for it. But as soon as you come in with, oh, this man come up to me, this is misogynist, or, oh, you know, this person holding me accountable, I lost my job, it's only because he's a woman, nah. And I see Justin here, toxic femininity as a definition, the proof, and the put in. I ain't getting into the toxic masculinity and toxic feminism and whatever like that, because toxic feminism over roll off the tongue. You understand? Misandry. Ask anybody what's the opposite of misogyny. Ask anybody the next time somebody call you a misogynist, man. The next time somebody call you a misogynist, say, okay, I'll accept that. But can you tell me what's the opposite of misogyny? Ask them that. There are people that legitimately believes that a woman is incapable of spreading rhetoric to discredit a man, to speak ill on a man.
We saw it, Neil. We saw it when we did the show on toxic femininity. It was the hue and cry was real. People
my goodness gracious!
There's no such thing. As a matter of fact, toxic femininity became interpreted as a case where you manifest all the good characteristics of a woman to your own detriment.
Yep.
I found that hilarious. Then we got a video on equality that I think we need to show.
Yeah, before I do that, I see Rian has a question here. Can somebody explain to me what a true feminist is? Seriously. A true feminist, we spoke about it earlier, but I think you came in late. A true feminist is someone that is looking for the equality of opportunity in politics.
And outcomes.
And outcomes in politics, economy, in the basic society. So if you are a person that you want a man and a woman to, if a man work 10 hours in a business firm if a man works as a laborer for 10 hours and a woman works for 10 hours as a laborer, they should be paid the same. If you realize women are not able to hold certain positions in office, you gotta call that out. You know what I mean? The opportunities to certain wealth building management services should be given to both men and women. Like, it's just equal across the board in the society. Right?
Political, economic, personal, and social.
Exactly. In the law courts, same thing. You understand? It should be equal across the board. Yeah? And that is what a feminist is. What's the opposite of a feminist, Derek? What's the male counterpart to a feminist? Anybody know the answer? I asking serious. I'm not trying to be facetious.
That's a Google search there, boy. Somebody do a Google search and drop it in there.
What is the male counterpart of a feminist?
You see, Romel and Ruben having a very interesting exchange in some Mandarin. It looks like.
Stop showing off, man. Nobody don't like show offs, Ruben and Romel. Nobody don't like. Sure, I know ni hao. That's the extent of my experience in China. Ni hao. All the Chinese went up my head. All the Mandarin went up my head. When I got back on the plane to Barbados, but
so yeah, Neil, I found it interesting. You touched on the equality of pay and stuff like that, and One more thing before, because I think we're coming to that time, we can open up the lines a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So this is about the U.S. Women's soccer team, right? The national team.
Mm-hmm.
And they obviously, I don't know if everybody knows or not, but they had a case for their contract, their bargaining agreement in terms of negotiating equal pay and stuff like that as the men. And it went to court.
Masculinism. Sorry. Here reading Dion. Masculinism is the opposite of feminism. Oh, wow.
Well, I didn't even know that was a word. It sounds cumbersome to say.
You Google that, Dion, or you know that off the cuff? If you know that off the cuff, that's impressive. Don't lie to me now.
So yeah, federal judge Gary Klausner rejected the women's team's argument over receiving lower pay than the U.S. men's team. He also dismissed a claim of unequal working conditions related to the number of turf and rail grass pitches. Right? The lawsuit argued in part that the female players have been consistently paid less money than their male counterparts. This is true even though their performance has been superior to that of the male players. And anybody that follows football, soccer as they call it, anybody that follows it is aware that the U.S. men's team is trash and the U.S. women's team is pretty great, right? So the U.S. women went on to dominate the 2019 tournament, culminating with a 2-0 win over the Netherlands that fueled support for their claim that they were undervalued. The crowd cheering the team's victory in France erupted into a chant of equal pay, equal pay. Cool. In dismissing the women's claim that they are paid less for the same work, Klausner, the judge, pointed to differences in the structure of the men's and women's contracts to which they agreed in collective bargaining. The women's national team rejected an offer to be paid under the same pay-to-play structure as the men's national team, and the women's national team was willing to forego higher bonuses for other benefits, such as greater base compensation and the guarantee of a higher number of contracted players. Accordingly, plaintiffs cannot now retroactively deem their collective bargaining agreement worse than the men's national team collective bargaining agreement, CBA, by reference to what they would have made had they been paid under the men's pay-to-play structure when they themselves rejected such a structure. So in other words, the people running U.S. soccer offered the women's team the same contract structure as the men's national team. They offered that to them, to the women. The women said, nah, these are the terms we want. And anybody that deals with contracts would know, if I make an offer, you make a counter offer, the original offer is now squashed, I'll be going to something else. So we're going into the next thing, and you have gotten what you have negotiated. They say you don't get what you deserve, you get what you can negotiate. The women didn't negotiate it to have this particular contract, right? The judge said the women's contract guarantees players will be paid regardless of whether they play. The men are paid if they are called into camp to play and then participate in a match. On this point, the judge said the plaintiff's statements were insufficient to establish a genuine dispute, right? So they have negotiated one contract, and then when it didn't work out in their favor, they want to return to the original contract which they were offered. But here's the challenge with it. They don't only want to return to the men's contract, they still want to keep the things that the perks that they had negotiated in their own contract. So they want the best of both worlds. So to that, Neil, I say, let's run that clip that I would have sent you, that I would have pointed out. I think that's a great time to run that.
Okay, let me put it on screen. All right.
Something you'll get a lot of hate for if you say it out loud.
That women don't actually want equality. If women wanted equality, they would be going after the harder physical jobs. They would be volunteering and being happy to pay if they go out on dates. And they would be selecting and respecting men who make less money than they do. But that's usually not the case. Women want equity. Equity is getting something that will make you successful. And that's what women do. They select the parts of equality that benefit them. But they don't want the dark, dirty, grimy, hard parts of equality. They want that to be men, but still they say they want to be equal. That hypocrisy is why there's a conflict. And if women were honest, that they just want the parts they can benefit from, men are already doing the harder jobs. Men are already doing those things that you have a problem with. So if you were just honest about it, we would continue to do what we're already doing, and we would probably be happy to help you get the equitable parts of society to make you happy.
Ah, boy, that is perfect. That is well said. I don't even know if there's any other way to put it, because we've said this all the time, right? Because women, I see George had put up earlier, if they really want equality or they want access, and that's the equality and opportunity, George. They want the same opportunities or the same access to certain things that men have. But going back to the video there, that gentleman said it perfectly, because women want to be able to do the same jobs as men. Nobody ain't breaking on the door to go and be a laborer. No women ain't gonna break on the door to go and be a mason, a carpenter. You know what I mean? Because those jobs are still looked down upon, particularly by women. Why? Because they're low. Well, depends on how you view low. Call them a tad. Carpenters make real money. A mason's make real.
Okay, they made it turn money.
They made it turn real money.
Physical exertion required. I don't think women necessarily want to deal with that. And also to consider them, you don't see nobody dress up cute to go and stir in the concrete,
I mess up my nails, right? And I know, don't come for me, because there's a
you gotta deal with it. You gotta deal with dust and cement and sand and grit.
You understand? So
yeah, that's really stuff that women are going to run and go and do.
But the point I'm trying to make, right, is that if women, I feel as though they selectively want their cake and to eat it too. They want to be treated just like a man in terms of things that they can do, things that they can say, things that they can move about. They want to curb how men are to be more like them. And they want men to still provide as if nothing has happened. Let's see, Rian said not true. Many women work in that field. Rian, how many comparatively?
Which field?
Hold on there. Rian, I'm not saying women don't work in the field. But if you were to break it down to a number, right? I saw a stat today saying about 90. Don't let me tell a lie. Upward of 95%. I'm sure the number is higher, but upward of 95% in those fields are men. I know it's not the all women thing, but let's be honest. If I ask you to go on a job site tomorrow to find 10 women, one woman working on a job site compared to men, what can happen? I see Dion. I think the reason why those jobs aren't aimed for our... I think the reason... Aimed for, sorry. I think the reason why those jobs aren't aimed for also is education. Feminism started with education for women. I understand that. But let's be honest. You can't say that you're not going for certain jobs and then say you're not being paid commensurately to men. You can't look at the gross domestic product and look at what a country is making, breaking down into men and women, and say, look, women are not making as much as men. That doesn't make sense. Right? I understand.
I tell the story on my driveway.
Yeah.
And from buying the material to completion, I interacted with one lady, and she was on the phone. Yeah, all the people that brought the guys from Carters that brought the material, men, the guys that brought the sand, grit, cement mixer, men, So I don't think it's just a case of education. There's just certain jobs that, because of the physical exertion required,
hold on a minute there.
Women are going to be less inclined to deal with.
Right. Let's be real. This says Rian. Let's be real. Men are generally stronger than women. It's not a nail thing or not wanting to be in the sun. I am glad you bring that up. And you're right. It's not a nail thing or wanting to be any son. Men are generally stronger than women. But when you hear certain people talk, and you talk about, if you were to say in certain circles that men are stronger than women, that's why you don't see many female construction workers, you can get called a misogynist though. And it's happened, we've seen it in real time. So and the thing is, again, I say this to y'all every week. I appreciate y'all that come in here because all of y'all are learned, logical. Like Ria, you speaking with saints. You're speaking with saints. You're not the type of person that can say, "Oh, you know, we want equal opportunity, but I ain't getting up there and work on a job site." Because I'm sure you, especially in your field, have worked on a job site before. I see you in pictures with hard hats and things before. So your perspective and the perspective of the women in this group are different than the ones that we are talking about. Because there are women out there that firmly believe that anything a man could do, a woman could do better. So by and large, when you look at certain things, when you look at people, a feminist will come and say, "Oh, women don't make as much as men." And you look at the reasons why, if that is the case, because that is not even the case when you look at it. But even if you were to bring an argument like that, you don't see in certain areas of the society a woman working. How many garbage collection women you've seen in your life versus men? If you were to give a percentage, Derek, how many women you've seen collecting garbage commensurate to men?
I mean, it's not exactly. Again, it's not a field that women will rush to.
It's not a desirable field but in a desirable field for anybody.
For nobody.
Nobody aspires. Well, don't let me say nobody. Very few people aspire to be garbage collectors. So let me see, because these women want to be knocked out. As someone who has fought men, I am not up to doing it straight up. Aye, Dion, I know you gangster, Dion. I know you like
Dion black belt.
I know you
or something like that.
I know Dion's a thug.
You have to confirm.
I got look. She's a what?
Yeah,
oh yeah, she used to do that at school. Yeah. Oh yeah. You're right. Oh, you go on with your bad self. But yeah, I think that we have to be very careful in this society in equating certain things. The reason why men do more dangerous jobs, the reason why men do more labor intensive jobs, is because we are stronger. We are more willing to protect. I'm not saying women don't do these jobs. I'm saying overwhelming majority of the people in certain sectors are men. So
Neil, I really want us to be, because we seem to be, we want to fight human evolution. It is what they are until they aren't. You know what I mean? Generally speaking, if I go in my job, right, in my regular 9 to 5, generally speaking, the boys are quicker to come to a PE class. Generally speaking, the boys are more willing to be out there taking the sun and going through exercises and stuff like that. They're way more willing to do that. And is even-ish from class 1, but as those girls get older, going up to school, they are less and less inclined to come out there and deal with the physical exertion required in a PE class. So it's fascinating to see that when girls get to class, everybody got athletes coming all through school. Under 13 girls, sparse. It's almost as if the children disappear when they get to class 4. Sorry, not the children, the girls, because the boys will still run, the boys will still participate, the boys still come in and play the football and all that. But when you're looking at sports, under 13 girls is always a very hard division for you to fill, right? Mm-hmm. Things are what they are, and when you leave people. Because them little girls ain't know nothing about the feminism. You know what I mean? Them little men, them ain't know nothing about the feminism. But when you leave these children and you leave people to just naturally follow what they are inclined to follow, that's what you end up with.
But didn't they do that in one of those Scandinavian countries? I think it was Sweden. It was
Yeah.
Sweden, where they're pretty much
Or Denmark,
one of those places where they give equal opportunity to men and women, particularly in
the education.
In the education, right? And lo and behold,
The
after
women went to humanities, the men went to STEM.
Yep.
Science, technology, engineering, and maths.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think there.
So we gotta start fighting the evolution. I was want to deal with this WNBA thing here.
Oh dear.
Because they're talking about the WNBA pay thing. I think we had done a meme about that where Sue Bird and the LeBron James comparison and people talking about compensation. I saw George made the comment. George said revenue determines compensation. And let me provide a very real example of that for you guys, right? Because it's always going to be about the draw. It's always going to be about the draw. G-Syndicate left Barbados and went to Toronto in 2018 and 2019 to farm Barbados on the water, right? And we left here. We only
Yeah, right?
G-Syndicate.
Oh, you're breaking up a bit. Sorry.
Yeah, you still here?
Ooh, breaking up real bad. Ooh. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know. I don't think y'all can hear Derek, but you're watching the Senate podcast. Let me just put that on screen. Like, comment, subscribe, share, dislike if you think we're talking foolishness. What we're gonna do shortly is that we're gonna put the link out there. Opening. Oh, you're still there. You're still there. Okay, your screen froze for a bit. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, you still there?
Yeah, man, I hear.
You can hear me?
Yeah. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Wait, it's a delay. So what you can do is
the six of us.
I can't hear you there. Can't hear you.
Manager, we overseas, and we got the same.
No, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. What you may have to do is you may have to leave the call and come. You may have to leave the call and come back in. Anyhow, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the Senate podcast. As I was saying before, we'll be opening the phone line shortly, where we will put the Skype link on there, and you can join. You don't have to have a Skype account. You just click on the link. You could come in. We would prefer you to have your camera on screen, camera on, but we understand. Some people. Y'all can hear Derek. I can't hear Derek. So the problem is. Derek. Right. Right. So now he's stuck. Derek, you're a bit stuck. So if you could hear me, you may have to leave. Let me see if I could do this here. Right. So as I was saying, we can open the phone line shortly so that people could call in. We would prefer to have your camera on, but we understand if you don't. We just obviously would need to know who you are. We're gonna ask you to tell your name and everything like that because we want some level of accountability and transparency. And good faith. So as I try to figure out what's happening here with Derek, I may have to Derek, my brother, I may have to kick you out and bring you back in. So don't take it personal. Hey, 1 2 1 2. I am here. What is happening right now? Right, I am here. Testing 1 2 1 3 1 2 1 2. Yeah, I still here. Derek is not. So let me try to add back Derek to the call. Right. So yeah. So Derek. Derek, you there now?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Yeah, we got you. There was a little break up there, but go ahead, my brother.
Yeah, I ain't too sure what's happening there. Right, but with regard to the whole thing of and pay and equal pay and all that, compensation, as George was saying, compensation and I mean, don't mean misquote George. He spoke about revenue determines compensation. If you don't make money, people can't reward you for it. The WNBA has never turned a profit, never. And ironically, it is subsidized by the NBA. So even with the help of the NBA, they are unable to turn a profit. And by that same token, then, it is impossible for Sue Bird to earn the money that LeBron James earns. You know what I mean? But hey, that's just another part of what's going on. Let's see, we got the link for the calls. So, folks, we're watching the Senate podcast here on YouTube. Like, share, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Make sure that you are always involved. So, those of you who want to call in and deal with us face to face, feel free to do so. We are here for it. We are ready for it. So, yeah, man, hit the link, call in, join the conversation, and let's keep it cranking. Let me just daily. Let's see my man Cutting in the crank. Cutting is here.
Cutting.
My brother. I said flowing lady may be great at all. Apparently not. Okay, this is a discussion about sick days and stuff like that. All right. I don't really want to get into that too much. So, yeah, Justin says I agree with Dion, but these are reasons why companies prefer men in some roles over women. Jimmy says the fact is I've seen a WNBA game and it wasn't great. And this is another example of post stats skewed for a specific reason.
All right, keep talking there. Hey, you just deal with someone just
Yeah, man.
deal with them off here for a minute.
Yeah. I'll talk a little bit. It seems to be able to. So yeah, that's where we are, guys. The disruption of we can talk about the relationship part of it on Thursday, but right now we're dealing with these social issues, the more social issues kind of show. And we
Hi, good night. You can hear me?
The impact of fourth wave. Because at its core, I am certain we have no problems at all with equal opportunity, equal outcomes for on a social, political, economic, even educational and judicial grounds. We have no problem with that at all. But
there you still there?
Yeah, man, it's still here. Dion says I always find this laughable because on one hand you're like we done with feminism, but on the other hand, you're all getting pregnant.
Oh dear. Derek, we can let's get into it with our guest.
Yeah, man, let's do that.
Hi, you can hear us? Hello, you there?
Hi, good night, guys.
Hi, good night.
Hello.
Caller, just let us know what's your name and what's your claim to fame.
Oh, I'm sorry. My name is Rianne Graves. I'm not sure what my claim to fame is, but I am just joining in because I wanted to comment on the whole idea of the woman in the workplace, and it was a little touchy to me because I have worked 16 years in the construction industry.
Right.
16 long years in architecture and in project management. And constantly, I wear boots constantly. I get my feet and hands dirty constantly. I climb scaffolding if I have to, right? So I feel like, to say that women do not want to do certain jobs, I think is, I don't think that that's fair to say, because I think women, I mean, I meet women on site who are painters, who are tailors, who are masons, who work just as hard as men. Yes, there are not the majority, but like I said, I think that is just based on the fact that men are inherently stronger. like women, not many women can go around lifting up blocks all day and mixing cement all day. It's a hard, tough job. And at the end of the day, physically, a man is stronger to do that job, right? I don't know if women disagree with me, but that is my position on that. But I would like to say, on my experience in the workplace, and we women, yes, we want to be treated fairly. We want equal opportunity. And I remember my experience on leaving school and going into the workplace. And my first ever job with a male counterpart, we were at the same level, came out of school, and he was being paid $1,000 more than I was being paid. And I found that out through someone else, right? Through the office manager at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And, as a woman, why was that? Why was I not being paid the same amount? There was no reason, to say, oh, he was working there X amount of years, so he had X way more experience. There was no legitimate reason.
Okay, Rian,
mm-hmm.
yeah, would you be able to tell us if that is still the case? How long have you been working in construction again?
16 years.
16 years. So is that still the case now, some 16 years later, where there's still the disparity in terms of the pay scale?
I would not say that actually. Architecture at community college what I would say, because what I would say architecture at community college is that what women would say is that men are more confident in interviews. Okay. And I like, for instance, I have recommended students to jobs through different employers that I know.
Right.
And even though the student had better grades and performed well, the confidence that the male had far surpassed the female, even though his grades might not have been to a particular level at her same level. And what I find there was this thing on is that females, there was this thing online that caught me a time that I saw, and it says women like to say sorry a lot. And that very with me. Yeah, well, you see, like, oh, you do something, oh, sorry about that, and not even realizing that they're kind of saying it. It's almost like I find women tend to downplay, or they don't have enough confidence in themselves when it comes to the world, right? And I've seen that. But what I was trying to get at with the point with the $1,000, not only that, I have been at with colleagues. I'm trying not to call
right
certain institutions or whatever, but I had an associate or an employer who owned a firm,
right?
And there was a meeting with a set of colleagues, a group of us, and he asked me. He looked at me. I didn't know him like that. So you wear them heels on site, right?
Yeah.
I went to the meeting in heels,
right?
And I'm like, but you have on skirted, pointy shoes. You're not wearing those on site either.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Right. I go on site, men can't call at you. I have to put myself in a position where I don't answer.
Right.
I'm going to ignore you right through until you address me properly. And these are constant things that women go through. And you go through them, and then you kind of, in the workplace, then a woman becomes tough. She kind of has to overcompensate, so to speak, because she's in quote unquote a man's world.
Right.
Right. So she has to put up her guard. She has to become tougher than she really wants to be.
Right. Suppress her femininity.
To get the same respect.
Okay.
Rihanna, you hear me?
Yeah, pretty much.
Right.
Right.
Right. But let me ask you a question
Yeah, she
though.
hearing you. She
I'm
responded.
here.
Yeah, let me ask you a question, Rian. How many, like, if you were to give it a percentage today, versus men versus women, how many men versus women are in your field?
In terms of architecture, I would say a lot of women have been going into architecture. I mean, my class at BCC right now is about 50-50.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
50% women, 50% men.
Mm-hmm.
You know, back when I first started studying, when I went to BCC in 2000, it was, you know, maybe 25% women.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it's changed, and a lot of women are going towards these roles. There are more women who are engineers and all these things right now.
Right. So, but when you go on site, then, so when you go on site, in the percentages now, how many other women do you meet and interact with on a site? So, if you go to a job site, if you got 10 men, if 10 people on
And
your
like
site, how
one
many men?
woman or 0 women.
Okay.
Right.
But what do you think?
That is the battle that you and that one woman or second woman on site have to fight with every day. Go ahead, Neil.
Right. Right. And I said, and I know you were saying that it came down to inherently, women are not as strong as men in that department, and that could be the real reason why you don't see many women on the job site, like because it is labor intensive. It is, you need to be physically strong or what have you. You wouldn't see a lot of women in that space. But the question I would have for you is, what would you have to say in terms of? And I think you mentioned this in the comment, but we can get into it now. In terms of a feminist, if somebody said, you know what, women are not paid as much as men today, especially in your field, what would you say to that?
I would not agree with that. I think the salary is around the same in this day and age, but I think it also has to do with negotiation, and I think somebody said that as well. It has to do with how you negotiate, how you value yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's why I was saying that you find some women do not speak up in terms of, their, what they can bring to the table, their character, what they feel they are worth.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Right. Mm-hmm. So you find then it's not that the employer wants to give the male more money, is that the male was just a better negotiator. That's the truth.
Okay.
Okay.
Right?
So with regard to the negotiating part, and you spoke about confidence as well. What do you think then would be the factors that impact the confidence? I have a man who give a man the confidence to go in, represent himself, and negotiate for a better salary, as opposed to a woman. And I find it interesting you say that the men are more confident. That's a shocker to me. I'm sure it's a shocker to the men in the chat too. What do you think would be the factors that would lead to a man being more confident and thus being able to ask for more money?
Well, a very good question. I can't say that I really know what the factors are, but I think, men have monopolized certain fields for a very long time. So for a man, he, I might be wrong. And you guys are men and you can tell me if I'm wrong or not. But I might, there is a masculine with men. They assert themselves more. They, it is what it is. They assert themselves more. They push boundaries, and they kind of get with what they want, even though they might not have the qualifications, or I'm not a man, so I can't really say it to be exact, right?
Okay.
But that's just my opinion.
Okay, I get you. I think it's a case where men are accustomed to dealing with hearing no. from a very early age.
We take the
So we
L's
kind of
quick.
just we take L's from an early age. So it's just a matter of just kind of like what you got to lose here, and just go forward. So even within the work environment now and a job interview, you find women are less inclined to accept or want to accept the rejection. So it's a, I really feel that I could get $3,000, but I get asked for $2,000. That $2,000 sound reasonable. Whereas a man says, shoot, give me $4,000. You know what I mean?
I think that comes over is like men approaching women on the street. What
Exactly.
they got to lose. So
Exactly.
women, I think women probably think more, and men probably are more impulsive and say they're more willing to
take the L.
lose.
Yeah. We ain't got nothing to lose. But that's, I said it in this space before. I can risk at Rihanna if I got a chance. I know I can get shoot down. Well, that's what's supposed to happen. But you know what I mean? What can stop a man? No. If let's say Boris Cujo, or I don't know what the women like. The women like who?
Will Smith, apparently.
Will Smith, right? If Will Smith, I see Beyonce, she would keep Will Smith warm at night. If Will Smith was to come around you, Rihanna, you'd be shy, and say, because I don't want, I don't want. But I guarantee you, if Rihanna come around the men know we are.
Better sing a song without. What
can you do to stop man? Because we already at zero. Right?
It's true. I want to approach Will Smith, but if Will Smith come and ask me out, I am going.
But hold on a minute, Rihanna. That is not fair, because I don't agree there. Because if Rihanna come and ask me out, you think, hey, so you think any man or woman on this planet, Rihanna ask out, they can say no? So no. It's just interesting though, in all seriousness. This discussion. I know that you would have had some unique experiences as a woman, obviously because we know each other, and I would know certain things. But it is interesting to have you discuss from a place of doing a job that is considered blue collar. Yes, you're an architect. You do that sort of work, but obviously you interact with a lot of job sites and everything like that. So it's interesting to get your perspective of how women see these jobs and everything like that. What is your? Let me ask you now that I have you on the line. What would you say is your general, like, I don't want to call it your friend circle, but let's say women that you would interact with. How do they view like the workforce and the feminism, particularly it giving them the opportunity to work in any field, anywhere, anyhow? Do you find them taking up any job anywhere, anyhow, no matter what paying, or you find it that they're only trying to get a certain type of job, where it be white collar?
I would say the females that I've surrounded myself with over the years, they work hard for what they want.
Mm-hmm.
They're women who, kind of go getters.
Mm-hmm.
So, failing is not an option. So the women that I surround myself with, they put similar to me, put a lot of pressure on themselves to get to a certain point in their life, right? And I would say all of them are like that, all of them. So if they fail, they're going to get up and they're going to do it again, just to make sure they can say they've achieved what they wanted to have it what they would have wanted to in life. So it's and I mean, I have friends who have gone into the beauty industry. They started at one point, stop, being working in a bank, stop that, said it's not for me, start from the bottom, gone into the beauty industry, making money now, like they have, cried tears, done this, and the men in their lives are the ones who have men in their lives. They don't rely on them for financial support.
Okay.
Right. I think sometimes it might cause issues. I'm not getting anybody personal. But I would say sometimes it will cause issues. Yeah.
So quick question, Rianne. So the ones that do have those successful women that you described, that do have boyfriends and stuff, do their boyfriends earn as much as they do?
Majority, no.
Are they
Majority,
happy?
no.
Are those women happy in those relationships?
I think that you should take that on a case by case basis.
All of a sudden, no case by case, no, right? You can't speak holistically, no, right?
Because some are, some might have some issues, but they're struggling through them, and I think that's the most important thing, right?
Okay.
To keep at it, don't
Perseverance.
quit. Try to work on things.
That's a
But
good.
I do know some
That's a
who
good
are
ditch
the
to do,
money
though.
maker, and some men do not mind taking that back seat. From what I've seen, in terms when I say back seat, they don't mind letting the woman do her thing,
right?
While he do his. So
But
I think
is
it
he
has
doing
to do with
his?
the personality.
Is he doing his? That's my question. Is he a man that is also a go-getter, as you described, get up and do, pushing to do something, or is he one of these guys, just an average guy, just chilling, just cool? My girl made some money, she take care of me a little bit, we cool.
Well, in majority of the cases that I've seen, the men hold their own.
Right.
They work hard, do what they have to do, and they hold their own. I mean, I believe in some cases they might see themselves as, not being up to par with the woman, right? But like I said, I don't live with them. I can't.
Yeah, you can't speak to that.
Can't speak to that.
Can't speak very much into these things.
Yeah, I get you.
I must say, what I saw interesting the other day, I went to Massey supermarket and I was observing this couple. The wife was a white lady, and they seem middle aged.
Right.
And I realized that the man was constantly walking behind her. Right. And I couldn't understand why. Right. He was pushing the car.
Standard fare.
And I noticed her, like, she was very, I can tell that she was the money maker. She was outright. She was decisive. She was the person pulling out the card. When they went back to the car with the trolley, she was the person driving the Mercedes. And he was just kind of lagging there, and I noticed it, and I kind of thought you guys was just.
Oh boy.
That's good.
Permeating. I just want to say that pushing the cart behind a woman is not an indicator that she is the breadwinner, because
it's not.
Men is just know a lot of men know the role. I know that this is my thing. We just push the cart.
It was his body language and everything,
Right, and from what she's describing as well too, she was the person that paid and everything. She was the person pushing the car and driving and stuff like that. So it doesn't seem like it was just a case of him falling back and letting her choose the groceries and then he paying. He was well in his place as, the boy in the yard.
Yeah.
He defeated Rian?
He did.
Oh dear.
As he should.
Dear.
As he should.
Well, Rian,
because and it's funny,
he's not like
you should have
going through the motions.
You should have sent it. You should send a link to us, man. Send me a link to us.
It's true. Tell you tune into the show, but because check it, Rian, you saw something like that, and to you, it didn't register as the natural order of things.
I mean, I think you should be walking side by side with your woman. I think people pay for. No, I don't.
The aisles in Massey slim, man. The aisles in Massey slim. You can't walk side by side.
What's that?
I said the aisles in Massey slim. They're narrow. You can't walk side to side.
It's true. But I have questioned if I'm a feminist or if I'm not. I want equal rights in terms of same job equality, but I still like a man to be a man.
But here's the thing, Rian. Not to cross you, Rian, but not to cross you, Rian, but that's the thing. You are a feminist, you see. You mustn't. I think what happened is people are conflating two things, right? Because there is nothing wrong in wanting equality of opportunity and outcome in a society. There's nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, that's what our forefathers would have, for mothers would have fought for, right? As black people, as women, as people in third world countries, there's nothing wrong with that. But to say and to conflate that with I can do it as a man, like, you know how many women I talk to on a regular basis that just tired of doing it all themselves, just tired of having to literally run a household or to go through life without a man taking charge with certain things. Like, they're in control of their life, they're in control of their education or their career, in charge of their household, they're in charge of the family responsibilities, everything they're in charge of, but they are tired of just doing everything themselves. They want man to just come and say, shoot, babe, I got food tonight, or babe, go on bed.
That's the dream.
Go on bed, and you know what I mean? So
yeah, I call it a dream.
Yeah, but that's the thing, and as it should be, because I think most people conflate this equality thing to mean I don't need a man. I think that's the problem. I think a lot of people are saying I can get up, I can run a, because women can run a household. Women can, do their grocery shopping, pay their bills, go and do their job, come home, cook for themselves, clean for themselves, wash for themselves, do all these things. And some of these women are saying, I don't need a man. Men are dismissed. Thank you for coming. No more need. No, you're no longer necessary. But men are not saying that. Men can do all the same things domestically that a woman could do in terms of also take care of themselves in all of the different leagues. But I don't hear a man say, I don't need a woman. I have never heard a man say immediately.
We both need each other. It's ridiculous. Any woman that says, oh, I don't need a man. We need each other. That's just the natural order of life.
Well, Rihanna.
The only thing making the comment, I said this when it was on, because you can do it all by yourself doesn't mean you should.
Yeah.
Or even that you want to.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Rihanna, we want you to bring your friends. We want to thank you for joining us on the call. Bring your friends, and not the ones that agree with you. The ones that disagree with you. Bring your friends, especially the women. So
they're not coming, but I don't be like.
We know. Trust me, we know. They may come in.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for coming on.
You're most welcome.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So that was Rihanna Grace. Thank you very much for joining us. Anybody else want to join? Just hit the link. You could join us real quick. We are almost at that hour, but we would take a call or two more just to get that engagement going. So you are watching the Senate podcast. You can like, comment, share, subscribe, dislike, let me build this community. Let's get this going, because we're starting to get into more heavy conversation. Because it was all fun and games and kiki in certain aspects, but I think that by and large it's time to start doing some heavy hitting and really get into the nuance of why things are so out of whack. So yeah, give us a call. Let us have the discussion. Let us talk about it. We're talking about feminism. And we're gonna do a follow-up on Thursday. Actually, I can work on Thursday and share that out. I don't think people can like the title very much, but we gotta do what we gotta do. Right? So click the link, everybody. The link I may have I didn't pin the link. I did not pin the link. That's my fault. I did not pin the link. So now I gotta find the link and I gotta pin the link, and there you go, it's pinned. So yeah, people, join the link. Let me get some conversation going. I do appreciate Rihanna coming on, being a female caller, just coming on, giving her perspective, particularly in her industry. And again, I would like to say that somebody coming from Rihanna's standpoint, she says she was even questioning if she's a feminist because she still wants a man to take charge and to lead and to be a man, because she agrees with the natural order of things. Now, it is interesting to hear that coming from a woman and her questioning her femininity. And the funny thing about it is that today I was watching some videos with regards to feminism, particularly women that believe in forthwith feminism, and almost all of them said that when they got into really checking feminism, checking why they have certain grievances with certain things, they actually came to a point of saying, they are feminists, but what their thought process was and the things that they were fighting for and calling into question is going counterproductive to what feminism is trying to strive for. So it's just a very interesting conversation to me, because I think people conflate a lot of ideologies, people conflate a lot of things, and I think a lot of pride comes in it too. I don't need a man. To say you need somebody else other than, let's say, a mother, I don't even know what you need. To say you need someone is just vulnerability, and nobody likes to feel vulnerable. So to say I need a man, thing I see Dion say, and with Rihanna questioning whether I'm a feminist. No, I don't know. I think
But here's the thing. Here's the thing, guys. Right? I remember the Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels said on a show, he had the Pressure Fit podcast, and he made the comment to some ladies that he was carrying over the goals that he's a feminist, and the women lost it.
Yep.
Because they could not figure out how a man who says the things that he would say
can be a feminist.
Can be a feminist. Neil and I are feminists. Contrary to what people will say, they say that we are sexist and misogynist and all those things, but Neil and I are feminists. We believe in equal opportunity, equal outcome, or the opportunity to equal outcomes. Right? We believe that. I'm certain that everybody in the chat believes that. What we do not believe in is entitlement. A lack of accountability. Those are the things which we do not believe in.
Particularly in a time where,
unfortunately,
sorry, I was just about to add, particularly in a time where we are not held, we are held accountable to the point where I feel if it was 500 years in the past, we'd be burned at the stake, which women have been. And, you know, I just saying, it's just, we are held accountable to such a standard is crazy. Sorry, there, I didn't mean to cross you.
We've been held accountable. Men have been, what did we say, weighed and measured and found wanting. We've been held to that standard. See, Andrea, my ally, you have no idea who you are, but welcome. First time seeing you in the chat, so welcome to you. Right? We've been held to that standard, and we've been asked to adjust our actions, adjust our behaviors, or even our way of thinking. We've been asked to adjust. Unfortunately, it does not seem as if the other side, women, are being asked to do the same. So much like most people, a lot of people are making this commentary that women want the best part of everything. Unfortunately, when you accept certain responsibilities and certain actions have consequences. If you have good actions, invariably, more often than not, you should get good consequences. If you have bad actions, but then you get bad consequences. To put it another way, you get the credit for the things you do.
Good and bad.
If you study and prepare yourself for an exam, you get the credit commensurate with the studying in which you put. The studying you put in. So if you study and you cram, and sorry, not cram. If you study well and you prepare, the exam is presented to you, you ace it, you get an A, that is the credit, that is the reward for the work you have done. If on the other hand, you don't do anything, you don't study, you don't prepare for it, and you decide, you know what, the exam is tomorrow at 9, at midnight again, start to cram, you drop sleep at 12:30, and then you wake up at 8:30 and scramble on the road to do the exam, and you get F. That is the credit for the work you've done. That is the reward for the work you've done. So, but so all of that long preamble, or that long rambling story to say, men have no problem with equality. Men have no problem with that. But men also want accountability on both sides. Men want, do not want entitlement. Men do not want you are not entitled to an outcome. You have equal opportunity. And now that you have equal opportunity, you have equal opportunity to go and dig graves down in Westbury, like anybody else. But having said that, do not expect that you can dig in the graves, and when the soil done turn and they cover back over the body, you can come and put a drape a carpet over it and call that a work, and then we can get paid the same thing.
Nope.
That can't work.
And let's be clear,
that is the challenge that men have.
And let's be clear, if two men were working in that same scenario, and Derek did all the work, and I just come for 2 seconds and drape over something there. So, and I call him for the same money Derek making. That is exactly the same thing.
It's still unfair.
It's still unfair. We shoot. I've heard it. Men just do the same job work, but get paid different. And it's come to like, but who do what and this and that and next, and what he can pay this and what he can pay
exactly.
that. So it is not. It is fair. It's fair. Right? I think what we are tired of the entitlement. We did a show a few months ago where women say, me propose to a man, that can't happen. But then y'all come and say y'all don't want the traditional man woman gender roles. Y'all just come and say, well, shoot, I got it like that. If I could do for me and whatever, why you can't propose to me? Why we do a show about going Dutch the other day? Why you can't pay for me to get dinner? You understand me? Particularly on a first date, you like some, you want some. Let me ask you. Oh, you ask me, and I got to pull my pocket. Like, I don't understand where we have come to a point where everybody wants equality, but yet still, men still got to do the same things they would do. So, I thought about it today, Derek. For centuries, for time immemorial, before, I would say the mid-50s, the 60s, right? Men, there was for lack of a better term, a system that was dominated by men, right? Men told women what to wear. Women told women where to, not to work, period. Just stop home, stop in the kitchen, barefoot, pregnant, do the thing, right? Feminism happened to change all of that for the equality in the workplace, right to vote, right to be seen as human in some places. They did a lot to further that dialogue, to have women recognized in a society as equally as men. But yet, what I think has happened since the 60s is that the gender roles for men have remained the same. Society view the gender roles of men as the same. Whereas women have taken the feminism, kind of twisted it and said, well, gender roles for women don't apply. So now what we had was gender roles for men and women before the 60s. Gender roles feminism happened and there was equality in society. And now we have the gender roles kind of out of whack now. So it's like we did not adjust for the gender roles. We did not adjust feminism for the gender roles. We've gone a little off the rails when it comes to that. So now men are expected to be men in the 50s, 40s, 30s, well before, but yet still are supposed to have
the modern day man.
The modern, you know what I mean? So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying to go back to the 50s or 40s, because I know some of y'all might clip this as, God, he does that in the shadows, lurking when it's, got him. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying we have adapted, we have changed, and with every society, once there's a change and a shift in the ideology in the society, I think that holistically, certain ideologies that permeate around that or trickle down from that or feed into that need to adapt as well. Yeah, because women are still expected
to. The thing is, Neil.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Yeah, men are still expected to protect and provide.
I was literally,
and that's the challenge that men are.
Literally just about to go into that point. I was literally about to say women are expected to still raise the children and nurture, and men are still supposed to provide and protect and secure, right? So it is a dialogue that we can't solve tonight. What happened?
Jimmy, I know men are sometimes better women than actual women. Guys,
Bumbleclot.
On Thursday night, we are going to continue this discussion because it doesn't stop there. Because we talked about societal and we talked about economic, educational, societal kind of stuff. But on Thursday, we're going to talk about relationships. We know y'all tune in to talk about relationships, how this kind of thing impacts relationships. I have a special video for Neil that I got right there sitting waiting. I
ain't got PTSD.
Issuing the disclaimer.
I ain't got PTSD when it comes to you on these videos.
Probably, but I issued a disclaimer note to everybody in chat because it may or may not laugh at the video. It does not mean that I am the misogynist that you think I am. I just have a very dark sense of humor and I am easily amused by some things. Okay? So if the video plays, as a matter of fact, I'm going to mute my microphone I turn off my camera so that if video plays and I'm inclined to laugh,
there you
I
can't.
can laugh in the privacy of my home.
There
I
you
all will not be saying
you can't do that there.
misogynist and sexist laughing at these women.
You can't do that there.
Right?
You can't do that there. You gotta be transparent always.
Okay.
Man, let them. What was the song you was playing before? What was the song you was playing before?
Make them come.
Come be ready for them. She do. Let her come. You know what it is. You know who you are.
Continue the discussion on Thursday.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen. So again, we want to thank everybody for coming out and joining the discussion. It was a real robust conversation in the chat. We want to thank Rianne for calling. We're hoping that and give us some perspective and insight into her views and how she sees things, particularly in the field that she's in, which is basically construction, building, architecture, that sort of stuff. We want to also say, calling, don't be afraid. Like some people think that we are two men that can carry the task. We can only carry the task if you're bringing certain things that are illogical to us. We will be respectful, so don't think that we can come on here and curse and carry on, because we don't want to be cursed out and carry on.
But the same token, you can't come in and carry on rough.
Right.
If you start to get on ignorant,
well, there
you need more words of cancel.
Ignorant me. Yep. Right. So
cancel. They will play cancel for night.
A great man. But yeah, by and large, we had a great show. We want to thank everybody for coming out. Spread the word, people. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Let everybody know what time it is. Let them know that we out here, we talking things, good, bad, and indifferent. You may agree, you may not agree. Yeah, you may have preconceived notions, but by and large, I think we have built at least some credit with some of you to be able to say, well, these two men, even though they have strong beliefs in certain things and they do speak from a position as men to men and to empower men, we ain't out here looking to put women back in the kitchen and we're not into that. That's not what we about. So anyhow, my brother, close us out. Let everybody know.
Yeah, man.
What how school keeping?
Just want to let everybody know. We really appreciate it. I think we move into having those discussions, and discussions are being had. And I really want you to encourage those people who have opposing views to come in.
Mm-hmm.
Have a respectful conversation. The conversations have never been had before. So come in, have a respectful conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Rianne called it. She had an opposing view. And I think we treated Rianne with some respect.
Mm-hmm.
She can say if we did it or not, but she's still in the chat, so I think she did. We did, right?
Mm.
Come in, we can have a respectful conversation. We don't have to agree. But she's on brave. Romel saying he liked the shirt. We can hook you up. Yeah? We can hook you up.
Was he
I know who we get it to you.
I was just about to say, was he posted to China to Singapore?
Well, we work out something.
Yeah, we figure out something.
The discussions are being had. That's the important part. Romel, let me know when you're gonna call in, and we can sort out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what we want. We want to drive the discussion, especially as men, because nobody hears what we have to say. Nobody cares what we have to say very often. So that's why we started the space, so we could start getting that dialogue going back and forth. We got some women talking in the chat, some men sharing their own opinions. So it works for us. That's mission started.
Yeah,
fully accomplished.
Not accomplished yet.
I know we can't save all, right? I know we can't save all. As Neil said, there's some people who hear the content and ready to talk from ball one.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to have the discussion. That's fine. We leave them to their own devices, but I will let them know. You can ignore reality all you want, but you cannot ignore the consequences of ignoring reality. Having said that, be the best version of you for you, and we will see you guys on Thursday. Look out for a Senate Sharp tomorrow.
You did it again, man. You forget a critical part there too. We don't make the rules.
Sorry, we do not make the rules. We do not make the rules. We just make sure you guys know exactly what those rules are. As men, you need to know the rules, because it's a game you can't really make.
There you go. Peace and love, people, on Thursday. See ya.